Oh my goodness, guys. I am just as shocked as you guys are that I am holding this in my hands right now. I'll explain. Let's get right into this amazing review. Alright, guys. So, craziest thing just happened. Let me tell you. I was just chilling, alright? It's been like years, and I mean years, since I've watched the Lego movie, alright? I'm a big fan of Legos. I'm a Lego guy. Blade Bias has his own thing. He collects Transformers. That's pretty cool, honestly. I like Transformers, too. But I collect Lego. I love Legos, alright? I was just chilling on the couch, alright? In my living room. I was watching the Lego movie. Then, my dad decides to surprise me, alright? So, my dad, he walks into the living room, alright? He has this giant square gift box in his hand, alright? Has tons of extra hardware from Nabalis. Then I explained to him that all my balisongs already come with extra hardware. He's not a big on balisongs, so he did not know that Nabalis products already come with extra hardware. He got on their website and bought me extra hardware for every single one of my balisongs in my collection, which was pretty cool, alright? I was obviously freaking out. I was like, Dad, this is awesome. You didn't have to do this. Each one of my balisongs already come with extra hardware. Then I noticed there was one extra hardware kit that I didn't recognize. It looked a lot like the Canyon, but there was something different about it. I was like, why'd you get me 2 hardware kits for the Canyon? He said, you sure that's not the Wing? And then he whips out this thing right in front of my face and hands it to me. If you guys don't know, the Wing is my absolute dream balisong. I have, out of all the balisongs possible to get, this is my dream balisong. I have wanted this thing for so long now. And he bought it for me. This is, quote unquote, for me hitting 1,000 subscribers. I hit 1,000 subscribers quite a while ago. My channel has just kind of blown up since. I went from 1,000 to 6,000 in probably just a week. So he said, it's supposed to be for hitting 1,000, but obviously my channel has grown a lot more than he expected from between when he bought this thing to when I'm getting it. I am just as shocked as you guys. I should probably quit yapping about this, but this is literally my dream balisong, the Nabalis Wing. And I was not expecting this. He completely surprised me with it. He pulled off the surprise very well. He just hands me the Nabalis Wing, so obviously I'm freaking out. I did not expect to be doing this review right now either. But we are here. I now have a Nabalis Wing. Crazy that I'm saying that. And we are going to do a review on this thing. So right off the bat, I will tell you guys, the grip on this thing is absolutely amazing. I used to see Ghost flipping his wing all the time. He had like the purple one. This is the obsidian color, by the way. This thing comes in multiple different color variants, and I'll explain that later in the video. The grip on this thing is just as good as it looks, if I'm being honest. Some people title this thing as slippery. I have not had that problem. With that being said, I've been flipping this thing for less than 15 minutes, but I love it already. I love everything about it. I will probably do a follow-up video here soon, in just a few months after I post this review. But I will tell you, the grip on this thing is absolutely amazing. And the jimpings are also very, very unique. They have like a slanted jimping. It reminds me kind of the jimping on a Mako V5, honestly. But it's really good, and the speed channels on the sides here are a lot deeper than they look. This is the false live blade variant. This is a false edge, perfectly safe, will not cut me at all. It's perfectly safe just for flipping and practicing purposes. This thing does come in a false blade, and it comes in a trainer variant. Now the false live blade is a bit more expensive than the trainer. But before I yap much more on this thing and the balisong itself, let's teleport right back inside into the review station, as I will call it for now, and see what else came with this amazing thing. Let's do it. Alrighty, guys. So, the Nabalis Wing came with, of course, some extra hardware. Now, I will say, before I get on to this, The Nabalis Wing, right here, this amazing thing, is a more high-dollar balisong on Nabalis. And more high-dollar balisongs come with a lot more than, let's say, something like the Nabalis Canyon would, all right? So, because of that, of course it came with extra hardware, as every single Nabalis product does. Every single Nabalis balisong that you buy will come with extra hardware, and typically a T10 bit. Now, not every Nabalis product you buy will come with bite handle indicators. Like I said, this is a more high-dollar balisong, so it came with some bite handle indicators. Typically, it will come with 2, of course, 1 or 2 each time. Now, you will see this with something like the Wing, something like the Volt Pro, something like the Bird of Prey. Like I said, typically it's the over $100 balisongs on the Nabalis that come with bite handle indicators along with the extra hardware. Secondly, another thing that more high-dollar balisongs on the Nabalis come with that typically others don't is a case. That's right. I have yet another Nabalis case here. That is because it came with the Wing. Typically, something like the Wing or the Trident or the Volt Pro, something that is more high dollar will typically come with an awesome plastic balisong case like this one. It is pretty shifted because Nabalis likes to shove some stuff in there. Like the hardware and the balisong and everything was shoved in just this slot. Don't know why they do that. So if you buy a high dollar balisong on the Nabalis, it will most likely come with a balisong case, whereas other balisongs on the Nabalis just come with a cardboard box. Cardboard boxes are cool, but you can't really use it to store balisongs, so there's that. So I'm just going to put this right over here. So this case, let's talk about the case for a second. I love the design on the top here. It's a really weird yet cool Nabalis design. I also love the font. You will see me use this font a lot when editing my videos. This balisong case specifically, let's set this over here, it can hold typically up to 3 balisongs. Now, this is made to specifically hold Nabalis balisongs. If you have something such as the Barracuda V2, like I have here, see how the end of this sticks out? The Barracuda is a bit longer than most Nabalis balisongs, so it will not fit perfectly in a case, but you can shove it in there and make it work. So this is made to hold 3 Nabalis balisongs. I have my Canyon here, and I don't have another balisong with me, but for instance, I'll shove the Barracuda in here to show you guys. It's typically made to hold 3, and it can also hold some extra hardware in the slots up here in the front, and some Loctite and lube. But something that a lot of people do, like I see Blade Bias and who else was it? I think I saw Benjamin Flips. A lot of YouTubers decide to just cut out this little middle piece, and now they have a case that can hold 4 balisongs. That is something that you could do if you would like. Typically, I just like to have my cases hold 3 balisongs. That way I have the extra storage for the extra hardware and T10 bit up here in the front. So, besides the case, I will take this out of here and take this out of here. Let me put these back. Let's see here. Let's put this down. There's even more that came with this thing. That's right. There's a lot of stuff that comes with this thing. This thing also came with some lube and some thread locker or Loctite, whichever you like to call it. Now, if you don't know what the uses of these things are, these are to tune your balisong. So there are multiple problems that you could have with a balisong. Now, this specific balisong has no problems right now. But if your pivot screws up here decide to start unscrewing as you're flipping, and you keep having to tighten them every time, you could use thread locker or Loctite on it, and it will keep it in place. Also, if your balisong starts getting stuck, instead of having free swing, that is what lubricant is for, and this helps your balisong to have good swing. And lastly, it obviously came with a Nabalis cloth or balisong case, whichever you'd like to call it. Every Nabalis balisong should come with one of these, not just the high dollar ones such as the Wing. I have one that came with my Cheese and my Canyon also. It's just a little cloth that you can put your balisong in if you want to carry it around and keep it nice and clean and safe. Lastly, besides this and everything else that came with this amazing product, it came with stickers. Now, first thing you're probably going to question is, why did it come with a Canyon sticker? And I don't have an answer to that. I think Nabalis just wanted to send you an extra sticker. And so they were like, hey, the Canyon sticker looks cool. Let's throw it in there. I don't know why the wing comes with a Canyon sticker, but it does. So that's cool. Obviously, it comes with a Nabalis sticker and the sticker of the Nabalis logo also. So typically, you'll have just these two stickers that come with the Balisong. And then this came with my Canyon. Again, don't know why this came with the wing, but pretty cool. You also have stickers. Who doesn't like stickers? Alrighty. I actually have to go to church now, but when I get back, I will be finishing the review on this thing, and we will talk much more about this. Now, for your guys' timeline in this video, lucky you, it will just be this snap right. Alrighty, guys. So, it is actually the next day. Yeah, that's right. So, I went to church, and then I went and watched the Fantastic Four with my dad, which, by the way, should be titled The Family Four. No hate at all. But I will say, the only thing I dislike about that movie is that they saved most of the action for the end. It was a good movie, don't get me wrong, but my dad fell asleep during the movie. Like, he almost took a nap twice. He said that it is... My dad, if you don't know, me and my dad, we used to watch all the Marvel movies, big fans of Marvel. He said it was one of the lamest Marvel movies he's seen. Now, I know there's probably some people that disagree with that. I personally think it was a good movie. I liked it. But I do see what he's saying when he tells me that it felt like a Hallmark movie with Galactus added to it. That sounds really bad, but I see what he's saying there. Like, it did... I will say, in that movie, it was a good movie, and they did have a lot of showtime for Galactus, which people probably like. But all the action was mainly based towards the end, besides whenever they went to space to actually see Galactus. So, there's that. No spoilers at all, but they made it too much about the baby, in my opinion. Anyways, enough about the Fantastic Four. It is the next day. And like I said, we are going to be finishing the review on this thing. So I've already told you guys what comes with the wing. Quite a bit of stuff, actually. Like, it is well worth the price, especially when you see how much stuff comes with this thing. I've already talked some about this. I've talked to you about how I got this thing yesterday, how my dad surprised me with it. Showed up and was like, hey Samuel, hey Sammy, look at this. This is awesome. And surprised me, and I'm like, what? I think my literal reaction, because someone was videoing, I think a different family member of mine, was decided to video it. My mom did. And my literal reaction was, hold it, Jim John. What?
Hold it, Jimmy John. Wait a minute.
Literally. Anyways, enough about that. So the Nabalis Wing. Like I said earlier, I love the grip on this thing. Some people say that this has very much grippy handles, as you can see from how beautiful this thing is. Some people would tell you that your hands can sort of slide off of it and that it's not that grippy. I would disagree. I would say that it is a grippy balisong. I do not have the problem with my hands sliding off of it. This is a very, very grippy balisong, in my opinion. The balance is pretty good. There are some things that I dislike about this thing. I will say that right off the bat. But there are also some things that I really like. With this being my dream balisong, I did have a bit of what am I saying? I did have some hopes that this would fit my preferences, and it does not fit my preferences exactly how I expected, but I will tell you more about that later in this video. For now, we are going to move over into the shade, over by the good old grill, because if you do not know, where I live in Missouri, it is pretty hot out, and I'd rather my phone not get overheated as I'm filming this, to be honest with you. So, now, like I said, the Nabalis Wing comes in multiple different color variants. This right here is the Obsidian color variant. It also comes in Champagne Gold, which is just like a gold, silver variant. It comes in silver on silver. It can come in like a maroon style. I forget, they had like a specific thing that they called that. I forget what it was called. But they have like a maroonish colorway. They have a pink colorway, they have a teal blue colorway, and they have a purple color variant. I think that's all. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm missing any. And then they have this one right here, which is called Obsidian. It's more like just silver to black fade on the handles. Now this is 70-75 aluminum handles. This is a higher grade of aluminum, which is probably part of the reason why it costs quite a bit more, and why it is a more higher dollar balisong, is because if you guys do not know, 70-75 aluminum is actually a higher grade of aluminum, so it is more durable. So if I drop this thing, ideally this balisong should be a lot more durable than something like the Cheese or the Impulse. Now, I will say the tune on this thing so far, I don't want to jinx this like I did last time. If you guys don't know, with my Impulse review, I talked so much about how the tune was good, and then the next day, my favorite screws were coming out. So, as of right now, at the time that I'm flipping this and filming this video, the tune on the Wing is very, very good. I would say Nabalis probably puts a little bit more work into tuning their higher dollar balisongs than they do their cheaper ones. So as of right now, the tune is very good. Now, I assume it will stay that way. If it doesn't, you guys can probably just go to one of my streams. I try and live stream daily, and you can ask me on my streams if it still has a good tune, and I will tell you. Now, like I said earlier, this thing does come in a false live blade variant, which is the one I have here, and in a trainer variant. The trainer variant costs about, I think, if I'm correct, the trainer variant costs about $115 to $120. I'm not certain. I think so. And then the false live variant costs about $126, or I'll just call it $130. Okay, it's about $130 for the false live blade variants, no matter which color you get. So this is a pretty high dollar balisong, but like I said, it is probably worth it. Now, you guys are probably waiting for this. You're like, you said there's some things you don't like. What do you not like about this? Because this seems awesome so far. I agree, it seems awesome. It is awesome. But because this thing is my dream balisong, and it's something I've really wanted for a long time, I was really hoping that this thing would fit my flipping preferences. I really like well-rounded handles. That is one of the top things on my flipping preferences. I love grippy handles that are well-rounded. This thing fits the description of grippy handles. Trust me on that one. This thing looks amazing. It has very good grippy handles. But there's the big oof right here. The handles are not as well-rounded as I was expecting. Now, these handles are pretty well-rounded. I would compare this the most to probably the Barracuda V2. That is another balisong that I own that I would compare it to. It's in the same price point. I would say that this thing is probably a little bit better than the Barracuda V2. Maybe I'll do a versus episode on that in the future. The handles are just a slightly more rounded than the Barracuda V2. I would say the handles, as far as the roundness of them, would be somewhere in between the Barracuda V2 and the Kraken, if you had to compare it. So the handles are pretty well rounded, but they are not something like the Impulse, which has very, very round handles. The handles are not insanely rounded. They're more squared, but they do have pretty well-rounded handles. So it is something that I still very, very, very much enjoy. There's not much to say bad about this thing, if I'm being honest with you. I have not done durability tests yet because, well, this thing is new, and it's my dream balisong, so I am trying to keep this thing in mint condition. I'm not going to be flipping this thing as my beater over concrete or anything like that, and trying to get it scuffed up, because like I said, this is probably going to be my favorite balisong for a long time. But as far as I know, like I said, because these are 70-75 aluminum handles with a steel blade, this thing is going to be pretty dang durable. I will tell you that. The tap and play on this thing is also immaculate. Amazing. Very minimal to no tap and play whatsoever. There's very minimal play, if none, and absolutely no tap. So far, I'm loving this thing. There's not much that I have to say bad about this thing. I'm trying to think of what else. I went over jimping, went over grip. Balance. Balance is another good one. The balance on this thing is pretty good. I would call it probably neutral handle bias. That's what most... unless your balisong has a adjustable weight system, most Nabalis balisongs are going to be in between neutral light handle bias, somewhere's in there. So this is going to be a pretty neutral handle bias type flipper. Now, if you don't know what that means, I try and make my videos for beginners and for advanced flippers. If you don't know what that means, perfectly fine. No need to worry. I will explain that to you right now. So blade bias just means that there are more weight in the handles than the blade. Now, obviously, there is going to be more weight in the handles than the blade because there's two handles, the safe handle and the bite handle. But if something is blade biased, that means that the blade is heavier than one of the handles. If something is handle biased, it means that one of the handles, just one alone, is heavier than the blade. And if it's neutral, it means that one handle and the blade are the exact same weight, which is about what you would want for your flipping. Now, I say that's about what you would want. Different people have different preferences, and different people like it in different ways. The main thing that people like is neutral. Somewhere in between neutral and handle bias typically is what people want in a balisong and what makes it a good flipper. I would say the flipping on this thing as to how well it flips and how well it flows, I'll put it like that. This thing flows very well. The speed channels on the side help out with that a lot. The very deep speed channels in the side. They're not all the way through, but they are still there. Now, this thing does run on Zen pins, of course, like most modern balisongs do, not on Tang pins. Zen pins, not falling out, have not had that problem yet. If I do, again, I'll let you guys know in the future. As of right now, not a problem. I've never heard of the Nabalis Wing having the issue of the Zen pins falling out, so that is not something you will have to worry about. I don't really know what else to say about this thing, honestly. I would say, let's talk about the prices for a second. For this being a $130 balisong, does it flip good for the price? I would say yes. This thing is well worth $130 US. That is because, not only because of how good of a flipper this is, this balisong alone, if it was all that Nabalis shipped to you, I would still say it's worth it. But what makes it absolutely beyond worth it is the stuff that comes with this. When you buy this thing, the fact that it comes with a case, a cloth, bite handle indicators, extra hardware, stickers, the fact that it comes with a whole bunch of stuff, plus you get this amazing advanced balisong, makes it very, very good for the price. Now, I would recommend this thing more to advanced flippers than I would beginners. I would not say this is a good beginner balisong. Now, of course, if you are a beginner and you decide to get an advanced balisong, it's gonna flip good. Duh. Whether you're advanced or not, an advanced balisong still is gonna flip good. But because of how expensive this is, there are not many beginners that are gonna want to buy this. And because of how good of a balisong this is, I would recommend this to you as probably later in your collection. If you are an advanced flipper and you're wanting something that flips really well, you're wanting to move on from your typical beginner balisong, this would be a very, very good choice. This is, in my opinion, Nabalis' version of a Kraken. I would say, based off what I like this thing better than a Kraken, okay? Now, don't hate on me for this. I have not flipped an authentic Kraken. Yeah, I know. I have not flipped an authentic Kraken, but I have flipped a Kraken clone. Now, I am aware that clones and the authentic thing do not flip exactly identical, but from what I know, they flip a lot alike. And from what I know about the Kraken and what I've heard, I think I still would, if I flipped an authentic Kraken, like the Wing better. Which is a surprising thing to hear me say, but that is true. I think I would like this thing better just because of the design on the handles and how much grip this thing has. I think I would like this thing better, honestly. At this point, I'm just yapping. There's not much else to say about this thing. It's a good balisong, very reasonable for the price, and I would say this is one of the best balisongs that Nabalis has released in a long time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be streaming again soon. I try and live stream almost daily, so feel free to go check out one of my streams. I typically just talk about balisongs. If you are in one of my streams, I will typically either talk about balisongs or I'll ask you if you know Jesus, because I personally am a follower of Christ, and I think it is very important that all of us know Jesus. So if you don't know Jesus, feel free to ask me any questions at all, like any questions. I'm cool with it. Typically, I would encourage you to ask me in one of my streams instead of on comments, because I have had the issue lately where on comments, there can be misunderstandings because you can't hear the tone in each other's voice. People can misunderstand some of my comments and replies to them in the comment section and say that I'm being rude to them when I do not mean to be. So if you do have any questions about Christianity, about Jesus, feel free to go into one of my live streams and ask me, and I will absolutely chat with you about whatever it is that you have questions about. Now, I cannot guarantee you that my answers are always going to be 100% fact. I tell you what I know from Scripture to answer your question. So feel free to go into any of my streams, or even if you don't have a question about Christianity and you're just like, hey, Sammy, do you like this balisong? Because I know I'm not going to play dumb. I know not all of my viewers are Christian. I know not all of my viewers are going to enjoy that I just said that. I know some of you, in fact, are quite against Christianity. And honestly, if you don't want to ask me any questions about Christianity, that's okay. You can go into one of my streams and ask me about a balisong, and I will just chat with you about a balisong. It doesn't always have to be about Christianity. I'd like it to be, but it's fine if not, honestly. If you guys have a question about the Wing or about the Impulse or any of my balisongs, feel free to go into one of my streams. Just ask me about it, or even if you got something else you want to chat about and you're like, hey, I think Balisong Traveler, I think you would really like this. I think you'd really like this hobby. Let's chat about it. I'll chat with you about it. So I just kind of wanted to promote my streams for a second there, let you guys know what my streams are like, and encourage you guys to go watch some of my streams. That is about all for today's video. I love the Wing. I'm shocked that I actually have it this soon. I was going to try saving up my money to buy this thing, but you never know when people will just surprise you with stuff. Family's awesome. That's all I got to say. Alrighty, guys. Love you all. See you in the next one.
When I wake up, gotta set my day up. Fill my heart with joy because the devil's trying to play a game with my mind. My words are a weapon, and I know that I got my eyes fixed on heaven like